While President Trump promised his Liberation Day tariffs would spark a new age of manufacturing here in the United States, unfortunately, the data does not bear that out. In fact, the US is bleeding blue-collar jobs, and the data shows that we're losing more of these jobs than we have in like the past 5 years. So let me give you the details, let me give you the data. So this is in a recent write-up in Appreciatus Economics, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Joseph Politano is the author, and he used data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics to show the decline in blue-collar jobs in America. And the numbers are pretty damning. So let's take a look at this graphic, let's put this up. So the jobs reported as decreasing include manufacturing jobs, that's represented in yellow. Then you have construction jobs represented with the color green. You see a sharp decline in that as well. You also see a sharp decline in mining, logging, oil, and gas related jobs. That's represented in the color blue. Transportation jobs are also decreasing. There was a little bit of an increase, and then you see a decrease later on in the graphic. That's represented in lilac, and then utility jobs or jobs related to utility companies, you're seeing a decline in that as well. So if you look at the red line, that shows the total decline in these jobs dating back to 2023. But as you can see in 2025, that red line dipped into the negative territory. So the last two times that we've seen a drop this severe were in April of 2020. So that was the beginning of the COVID pandemic. So the forced shutdowns, the mass layoffs that took place led to that sharp decrease of these jobs. And then the second time we saw a similar trend was in August of 2009, which of course was during the Great Recession, the economic collapse. So you can see both of those drops in the graph on the screen right now, and there are some more details. So the country is down 65,000 industrial jobs over the last year, a dramatic reversal from 2024 when the US added a lower than usual but still respectable 250,000 jobs. A major slowdown has hit all blue-collar sectors this year, including construction, mining, and utilities, though manufacturing and transportation are driving the vast majority of US job losses. So look, okay, let's take a look at this. So there was a pickup in early 2025 when it came to these jobs, but the decline started in February and has been dropping ever since. So I want to talk a little bit about the reasons for these job losses. So for instance, if you look at employment across all trades and industry, it's now down 123,000 jobs from the all-time peak reached in early 2025 and has been declining nearly every month since February. And this is likely underselling the damage since preliminary estimates for upcoming annual jobs data revisions suggest an additional loss of 100,000 manufacturing jobs and 30,000 construction jobs. Guys, we're in a lot of economic trouble. And this is all happening as the US is taking on more debt. Last year, it had already reached $1 trillion in servicing that debt. And we also have, AI, the emergence of AI. We don't fully understand how much damage that's gonna do to the job market, but it's already done some damage. So my point is, when you take all of this information in context, you realize just how bad the economy is for the common man in the US. And all we're hearing from the Trump administration is how he's gonna engage in these foreign entanglements, how he's gonna send another $8 billion to Israel so they can have their fighter jets and commit all sorts of war crimes and atrocities in the Middle East and annex land. We're hearing about how he's gonna steal oil on behalf of American oil companies who will essentially have us pay for the cost of extracting that oil while they benefit from the profits. I mean, you take it into context and you realize just how dire the situation really is. And recent federal policy changes haven't helped. In fact, changes have only made matters worse. And what's at the center of that? the tariffs. Tariffs are hurting blue-collar employment by raising the cost of manufacturing inputs. Immigration raids are disproportionately hurting the construction sector, something that Marjorie Taylor Greene warned about but was ignored. Cuts to industrial policy subsidies have helped push factory construction down more than 8% over the last year. The administration's desired blue-collar boom is not happening, quite the opposite. That's where we're at, folks. So these negative feelings, negative sentiment toward the Trump administration by members of his own base, I think is valid, it's justified. People voted him in because he said he was gonna do something about inflation. Now, all he's doing is what the Biden administration did when we were dealing with inflation. Pretending like it doesn't exist, blaming other people. It's pathetic and it doesn't work. So here we are.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.